Well, I got down off the hill, and it's getting windy. It wasn't windy when I come down, which is a good thing. And this will be a short morning ramble. I kind of really didn't get to prepare. So I'm just waiting for you guys to show up. And thank you, Madame. So I went shopping first. I got all kinds of provisions. But just before I paid the bill, the power went out. So I drove down the road where the power was on, and we tried to have a morning breakfast and go online and talk to you. So power went out, and the open photo kind of represents this could be you. You know? This is a friend of mine's house. After the French flood went through it. He lived right on the side of it. It was really beautiful. And this is back in the 90s in Asheville, North Carolina, Buncombe County. And it was, there's my horse. Anyway, my mom is my friend who got washed away. He's a Vietnam vet. This is Asheville trying to be trendy. Again, this is in the mid-90s, early 90s. It's one of my paintings. Here's what's left of my friend's house. This was a well, no one showed up. It's 4 minutes, 44 seconds. I don't know when I get back, will I have electricity? So, hopefully will. Before I leave, you know, YouTube is a really interesting platform. And I'm trying to use it in ways that most people don't, you know. I'm telling stories as a griot would tell stories in a shamanic way. As I tell the story over here, the cadre over here connects to it and to each other. Now we've had a character, and in the weeks and months that the cadre has been forming, what's interesting is that the cadre is very different. You know, not everyone, we're not a tribe, we're a clan. And the cadre is the almost 300 folks, right? That YouTube calls subscribers. I don't like that word. It's like commoditizing it, right? And so I called it a cadre, a group. And the folks who come on the chat every day, because I try to do 2 of these when I can, which is almost every day since October 15th. And because up until then I was in the deep green, which is like there is no internet, there is no cable TV, there is no satellite. You know, there's nothing. There's no radio or TV waves, you know. I like that. So, cadre, of course, all our relations, everybody. Cadre, chorus, and the chorus are the folks who talk, who communicate. And sweetie, excuse me, could you ask them for 2 eggs over easy? Thanks. So, chorus are those who communicate with inside the chat, who talk, who leave their feelings, and they're quite interesting folks. And as it was forming, a lot of different ideas of what it is, and because the cadre comes from all over the world, you know, they're just not in some little tribal neck of the woods, believing, you know, what CNN tells them, or MSNBC tells them, or Fox, or NBC, or anything.
Do eggs ever easy?
Oh, just
processed eggs?
Oh.
Yeah, we just do the omelets. I mean, do you want another omelet?
No. Yeah, just cheese.
Okay.
And onions.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yes.
Processed. I'm in country cooking. This is more like laboratory cooking or factory cooking. But I wanted a nice one place that I knew had a Wi-Fi that I could touch base with you guys. And I'm very humbled and happy where Dreamy Dreamland's going. And because where is it going? It's going in every day and every way, taking the piece of the earth and making it stronger. That's where it's going. So, no one showed up. Maybe it's too early on a Sunday. But all are welcome. We're in a no-wrench environment, right? No. What we depend on is the example of everyone's heart in love's co-creation. You know, instead of, what is ego? Ego is the reference. I mean, if you are, like this is an avatar. This is a bag of water. This is a mud puppet. Depending on how you're doing. If you can be like Buddha, awake, well, then you're more the avatar. If you're totally unconscious, then you're more the mud puppet. And so the thing is to, at least it's on. Somebody just came on and gave a thumbs up. So when the cadre was forming, when the chorus was forming, there were all these diverse everything. And some people have rough edges, and some people said, oh, this person's this or that. And I said, no, everyone is what they are. Bishop, good to see you, my friend. Ready to work? Oh. So I went down, I'm down here, and do you have electricity? I guess you do if you're, I don't know, but because the electricity has been sparking on and off downtown since I got here. So. Anyway. Okay, you're probably driving, so I don't want to get in the way of that. Okay, so everything's great, and I'm more interested in quality over quantity. There are people who have, sites, YouTube channels that get millions of, Cutie Pie, or what's that guy's name in? He put something up and 2 million people look at it within the first 40 minutes. And you look at the content, and there is none. It's like a comic book. And that's kind of, the reference point of, where our culture is, but has always been, right? The only time that our culture has, it's when we were the individual savage, the artist in the first person, co-creating with love's co-creation. And, the thing I love about YouTube is that all of these chats are in the history book. They're all right there. You can go see them. And, at this moment, I'm not worrying about monetizing. What I'm trying to do is reach the cadre, inform the chorus, inspire the shock troops. And what are the shock troops? These are shock troops of love's co-creation. It's not like somebody with a big machine gun, no. Someone with a big smile, big heart, and is there to make others happy. And that's what makes them happy. Trying to influence it. They've sent in a few, people call them trolls. But what I see them as is germs, and we put them in the test tube and put the cork on. Because one of the things that we're working on here first and foremost is creating an alternative aesthetic. Our present day aesthetic is based on consumption, out of control consumption, growth, Every economic system, if it's not growing, it dies. That's not sustainable, it's not healthy. So, every spiritual aesthetic, again, it's just like, it's a business plan. If it's not growing, it's going to die, It's not what it does. There was a young father and his son, and they're having breakfast. And they I just come from church, and they have very much that in them, and that was beautiful. They didn't have religion in them. They had a church in them. And what is a church? It's a cadre. And they were talking about the community of their church. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. And could I have a little more coffee? Woo! Excuse me. A little more coffee? I really haven't had coffee in about a week. I need a little bit. So it's all good. As one of my teachers used to always say to me, because what about this? And what are we going to do about it? And they would say, all things are as they should be. We're right on time. So, so if there's electricity up at the school tonight, I will go online at 7. And so we've had a few trolls, and like I said, they're in the test tube, and we're building an antigen, right? Thank you, sweetie. Just keep an eye on that for me, would you? You're the best. So, yesterday morning and last night, this character, I think he's like a Yoda clone / bot, right? And how we responded was not in anger or yelling at him, but with love, and trying to, whenever he made a statement, say, so, where's that come from? What you're coming from? And he has it has quite a access to shamanic, spiritual, occult, esoteric metaphors. And, that's why I think he's an algorithm, or it's an algorithm. And because it really kind of responds kind of like Skynet, right? And since we're not attacking it, it doesn't know how to respond. Since we're going forward with love, and inviting it to say, hey, listen, we need you, be a positive part of this. And all I gotta do is go read what it is, right? And if you're gonna come tonight at 7, pretty much. I do a ramble in the morning, sometime between 7 and 10, and I do an evening chat. And I try and start at 7 p.m. so people know where it is. And people said, oh, maybe we should keep this secret, not go on at the same time. No. This is a little germ that's in a test tube. And it's our test tube. It's on our rack. And we get to study it, because we are who we are. There is no need to pick at us. We are what we are. There is no hidden anything. I keep saying this. This is just a channel. Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al-Bab is just here for entertainment, right? We're not trying to build a church or a religion or a business plan or any of the above. And if we do, it's only, it's not that we are what it is, we're having a party, So if we need a tent for the party, we'll get a tent, Need a bus to put everybody on so we can go around and lighten everyone's life with entertainment and insights. We're not saying, like I don't believe in anything, Period. All I do is have faith in love's co-creation. That's it. That's where I'm at. What's that? Mm-mm-mm. Hey, Young, how you doing? Yep. I mean, the weather is definitely being strange, but if you look, I always look at the trends in the long term, like millions of years. This is nothing, This is not the end of times. And if it was, that would be fine. Because, if the poles shifted, the atmosphere would be whipping around this planet like at hypersonic speed, like 10, 8,000 miles an hour. So that would kind of, within us, I go, what? And I would be dust. Oh. Yes, Dr. Young, my young friend. You're always in my prayers, in my thoughts, in my meditations, as are all the cadre, as are all our relations. And even those that are obstructionists, they have my love, right? Because they are a great. Oh, you're the best. Let me just take a sip. You can throw a little in there, and you can throw a little in here too. Warm me up. Thank you, buddy. Ah, I like being in any social setting.
Yeah, blueberry and chocolate all together. Oh, blueberry and chocolate chip together. Yeah, they're having it makers.
I had one of those back in the 90s. A bunch, there's this thing, it was up in Vermont. It was called Red and Puppet, right? And they were comrades of mine back from the anti-nuclear days, right? And the Stop Shorm campaign. And we rode around the country going to colleges. That was one of the first versions of the traveling video art circus. And they were loads of fun, right? They could fix anything, Those were motorheads. Woo! And we would go around the country and we would stop off at Burger Kings and McDonald's and Hardee's. And they'd have these big dumpsters of grease, right? They'd have to pay a few $100 for that company to come around and dispose of it. Now, they were happy to let us just pump that stuff out. We had 4 or 5 55-gallon drums with a little stage on the back of the bus. And we had all our needed things to mix up a batch, right? And we would get this, and we would go to colleges and high schools and show people how to do this, We would take volunteers to go to this, fast food places and get, a couple 100 gallons of grease. And then there's a process where you can thin it out and do things so it will burn better in the vehicle. And, in the corporate world, decided that wasn't a good thing to do. To recycle, save money. No, sorry. And so, made it against the law. When we drove around in that bus, we got all the food we ever wanted out of supermarket dumpsters. I mean, they would throw stuff away that was unbelievable. Yeah, so the greens were a little peaked and, the answers to our social problems are not technical, right? They are spiritual in nature. Young, you are in our prayers. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Let our brother Young fly with the wings of angels. Let all good things happen to him in his flight. Let it be smooth. In every day, in every way, let us take the peace of the earth and make it stronger. Hope. Travel safe, my friend. We are all with you. So we're getting on to 27 minutes, and I'm very happy that we're still on the internet here, and I'm very humbled by everyone's involvement, and we're moving forward. We're not getting stuck. We're moving forward, right? Everything is as it should be, right? So keep that in your heart. Move forward. Any questions? Anything anyone wants to say? Yeah, it smells like French fries. It's like grease. Yeah, the bus smells like French fries. Yeah. You know, another thing. When I was at Cooper Union in 1968, and I was in this thing called, they had an engineering school, they had an architect school, they had art school, but they also had a alternative technology thing. Right? We had some amazing teachers, and we had an amazing environment. There was no textbook. We were writing the textbook. And we were hands-on. We were building wind turbines. The best wind turbine isn't a pinwheel, it's a barrel, where all of the vanes are around the barrel. And it only has to be, it doesn't have to be elevated at all, because it has so much volume that whatever wind is blowing, it kind of needs to be in a place, like on top of a hill without any trees, its best place. Any place where the wind kind of blows through is also good. And it has way more torque than the pinwheel. Engineering-wise, it's really simple because it's a barrel that spins like this. You have a shaft that goes into a generator. That's it. You don't need any transmission or gears. You do have a governor, all the little vanes around the barrel. When the wind is blowing harder than, the optimum safe spec for that, the vanes pull in, and then the wind goes around the barrel. Whereas the pinwheel goes past a certain wind at a certain time, at certain force, it rips it apart, So, and the cost to manufacture the barrel is a 1/100th of what a pinwheel is, right? But the federal government basically backed that technology because it's the most inefficient. And we found hundreds of ways to keep the consumption of electricity way low. Even if the population, we went to a population of 600 million, and inside the constructs of, this 1968, we found that people made compact fluorescent light bulbs, back in the 1890s. Also, not only that, Tesla lit buildings up with just neon and using induction coils from the top of the building to the bottom, no wires. And that hardly used any current at all, It was just an induction. So, and all these technologies were brought forth between the 1790s and 1920. T. Townsend Brown, go look him up. So, Oh, what can I say? So we're at 30 minutes and 59 seconds, so 31 minutes, okay? And I'm going to ramble off. This is a morning ramble. And again, gonna come on if there's electricity up on the hill at 7 p.m., okay? Okay. Love you guys. I'll stick around as long as you guys have anything to say. Okay. I'll talk to you guys later. Hey, buddy. I'm down here. Is the electricity still? Okay. Right. Right. Well, if I don't, I'll just stop down below, between Alex's and there. But if I make it up, I make it up. But it wasn't that bad going down, so I'm going to come back up. The lights, power's going on and off. So when I was in the supermarket buying all the food, the power went off. So it wiped out. Well, anyway, no, it's windy and the wires are like, uh-huh. So anyway, I'm waiting for them to get their computers together, and then I'm heading back up. So I should be back up within the hour. Okay. Yep. Right, not a problem. Oh, I'm sure I can. That's not a problem. But I'll see you in about an hour. Well, anyway, I'm going to sign off now.